put someone on the river, they will develop an appreciation, and out of that will emerge stewardship.
We took 20 people in kayaks from Lake Seminole down the Apalachicola all the way to the bridge here, and traveled the entire river and explored both the floodplain, streams, tributaries, and some of the communities along the river. Well, the Paddle Apalachicola trip for 2007 started with the idea that just people being on the river, letting them get to know the river would be a good way to have them begin to care about the river. As we thought about it, it was such an opportunity to educate folks on the real issues and the importance of the Apalachicola system. It was just seemed like a perfect fit to include some educational aspects to the trip other than just being on the river, paddling, having a good time.
Very much so. I'm a retired biology teacher, so going into this I thought, well, I knew quite a bit about river systems and all of that, but from the highly educated people that came to talk to us to, again, the experiences of the local people, there was education on so many levels. And then to see the commitment of these people and how important this river is to them, that it's something I remember forever.
Oysters in the bays. This is just a part of nature's rule.
On the Paddle Apalachicola River trip, we had approximately 20 people that went on the full one-week trip, and we had options for people to join us along the way for day trips. We had several people join us from Bluntstown to Weewa, and then we had another group of people that joined us at Owl Creek for an overnight camping trip and paddle into Apalachicola. So for a total of 38 people that ended the trip with us.
Taking the trip more than fulfilled my expectations. I couldn't have imagined what it was going to be like, and I'm kind of an adventuresome person, so I've done a lot of different things, and it was enough of a challenge to make it enjoyable. But the real heart of the trip was really getting to know the river in a way that you can't any other way. The way I like to describe it is I got to know the river a stroke at a time, one paddle stroke at a time. Couldn't go any faster than one stroke at a time. And what that allowed you to do was to really take in the river and everything around you, but it also allowed you to paddle up to somebody else and have good, casual, comfortable conversation, just natural conversations that had a natural beginning and natural end. And at the end of the day, we'd all unpack and sit around and got to know the people who were involved in other people I'd never met before who came on the trip, who also were interested in knowing more about the river. So getting to know the folks, getting to know about the river from the experts that we listened to talk about the pressures on the river along the way, and just that pace, unplugging from day-to-day life and getting a chance to do something really different and getting to know the river intimately. It's the only way I think you can really know the river intimately would be to paddle it that way. So that was very fulfilling.
Ultimately, the manifestation is to bring about a blueway leading from the Chattahoochee Gap on the Appalachian Trail, which is near the headwaters of the Chattahoochee River, all the way down to the coast, through the bay, and out into the blue waters of the Gulf. I envision this as a cultural heritage trail since through the eons prior to the arrival of European man. That was how Native Americans would transit from the Gulf coastal region up into the ridge trail of the Appalachians and promote commerce and cultural exchange through that corridor.
I offer it at Thanksgiving and things like that. It goes like this. School yourself to savor most things that have but little cost. Prove the best of life is free. Sun and stars and sky and sea. Eager in your eyes to please, proper meadows, brooks and trees. Nature strives for your content, never charging you a cent. Care for dogs and singing birds, hide for children cheery words. Fine plain food and comfort are more than luxury by far. Music, books, and honest friends outweigh golden dividends. Find the truest form of wealth, body fit, bloody health. Let your smile of happiness, rustic peace serenely stress. Home to love, heart to pray. Thank your God for every day. So thank you, God, for this day.
You know, a few years ago, the otters that live back in back in the swamp, they hardly ever saw people. So when it dried up, they had to come to the river, and they wasn't afraid of the people, you know, and they would swim up the side of the bank, you know, and you could ride right by them. And the alligators, they had to come to the river. Well, there's a lot of people that anything that moves on the river, they shoot it. Well, a lot of the alligators and the otter, they perished, you know, and the swamp is where the life is.
I thought somebody was singing. Soften up the cry, drain the swamp.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest impressions I was made. It's made upon me was how well organized the trip was. A trip of that scale with of that duration with that many people is a real complex kind of project. And I've been a project manager on big projects in my life and had a deep appreciation for how much thought and consideration for the project went into it and how well it came off.
My duties on the kayak paddle was support boat, and my boat has a unique quality to it that the bow drops down and it draws 11 inches for shallow water, and they were able to load up all their bags, sleeping bags, camping gear, stoves, all the food on my boat, and still had room for a few passengers and a kayak or two. The highlights were the meals, getting together, you might say breaking bread around a bunch of great people in the evening, all of the different characters that were on board, singing songs, playing guitars, dancing, telling jokes, just a variety of people that were on the trip.
I'm lost up the creek. Oh! Well, he leaned back to rest. His eyes did not see when that big rattler struck him above the bent knee. The lick was so hard that a fall and he fell. That was the beginning of poor old Tate's hell.
You'll find on the river.
Don't you know? She's my baby. Don't you understand? She's my woman, and I'm a lover man. I got a woman. We cross town.
One of the things that really stuck to is the need for that water flow. The hydrology and the importance to our ecosystem downriver, and basically the nutrients that the swamps and the sloughs provide our Apalachicola Bay, which I live on and have lived here for 24 years. those nutrients are so important to our nursery and our oysters. And the education was incredible.
Classic loop. The water from that comes from the river. When the river's too low, there's no water in this stream. And what we have in these kind of backwaters, 85% of the fish species in this river system use the backwaters as in part of their life cycle.
What percentage you said?
85% of the species. We have very rich fish fauna here. It's like 91, 92 species.
Well, when you're restoring natural communities on the area, you really got 4 techniques you can use. You can use, well, first of all and foremost, you got to restore the historical hydrological conditions like they existed before, because you can't restore vegetative communities without getting the hydrology correct. Secondly, you got to reintroduce the natural fire regime, because fire is our best tool for restoring communities. Thirdly, you can use some forest management techniques like timber thinning to your advantage, and then eventually reforestation to get back the proper longleaf pine, wiregrass type community. And fourthly, you always got to control exotic vegetation, because disturbed sites are always going to be a pathway for exotics. And just remember that it's adaptive management out there. Some things work, some don't. You just keep trying, and you find something that works, you go with that.
Apalachicola, let her wine, sing with me. Apalachicola, strong in mind. Apalachicola, flowing fine, Lord. Apalachicola, doing time.
The educational component of this trip through ABARC, it was so well orchestrated, and the information that we got coming down the river, there's no way you could sit in a classroom. I mean, it was actually the information and the paddle and the people were just, there's no way you could equal that.
Well, there were really 3 aspects. One is looking at the scientific, the habitats, the communities, the different species, and trying to have everybody understand the extent of the diversity and the productivity of the system. Then you have the issues based of what the scientific data and the impacts that are resulting, how they are tied together and producing a understanding of the level of impacts for the folks that were on the river. And then of course the third thing was to involve them in the communities and how those communities live on the river, experience the river, and the importance of the river between the community, their economy, their cultural heritage, and just how people live.
We had flathead catfish nuggets on a houseboat, and we just talked to people up and down the river that that's the basis of their life, is being able to go out on that river on a daily basis just about.
We had incredible hospitality the entire trip, which was one of the things we wanted to do, was interact with the communities along the river. We worked with some of the restaurants in the little cities along the river that provided meals for us for either lunch or dinner. And then we also cooked our own meals in some places where we could not get catering.
Be
Hello, my name is George Kervin Floyd, and in the waning hours of 2007, we refounded the Apalachicola Maritime Museum to enable the folks of the Big Bend region to have a resource to access for history and activities related to the maritime activities of Apalachicola, the river, and the Gulf of Mexico. And would like to invite everyone to come check out the museum at 103 Water Street, where you'll find docked the 58-foot Apalachicola Heritage, a wooden ketch built in Maine in 2002. That's the primary exhibit of the Maritime Museum, and for all members, you can come sign up and go sailing at no cost. We also invite groups affiliated with any not-for-profit charity organization to come and have an outing on the heritage and to get exposed to travel upon the bay as it was in the 1850s. Further, we've got a series of Apalachicola River trips scheduled for this autumn, the first of which we did last year in conjunction with the Apalachicola River Keeper. This year, 4 trips are scheduled from September through November, and the trip involves departing from Lake Seminole, running through the lock and dam, and then paddling all the way down to the coast over the course of 7 days. We'll have meals provided, and it is a grand adventure and a lot of great education provided, compliments of the Florida Wildlife Commission, the National Park Service, and various other governmental agencies, and a great opportunity to get out on the river if you've never done it. A lot of people live here and have never spent that kind of time on the river trip, but it's a great adventure. Or just come sail across the bay on the heritage. Look forward to having you.
Now down the Tala climbed the rigging aloft to keep first watch o'er the bay. By night a fever struck my crew, they all were dead by dawn. I know that plague shall take me to some secrets in my song. On the last key to the west, underneath the eagle's nest, dig a fathom in the rotten tears. Just a rotted from the veil, but the yellow gold through the tail about the mangrove canoe. I'll see you to the keys of Hoy, from skip to shore. Bury the gold at the robber's snare. On a mountain scale flat, like the secret trail again. I'm the mangrove canoe. I'm the mangrove canoe. Hey!
The mussels that live in this river are the canaries in the coal mine for the river. If they're hurting, the river is hurting.
Well, he blew on his gun barrel, but the dogs did not hear. A panther had killed him, old Tate felt the fear. The moon was not shining and the mist it was thick. Oh Lordy, Tate hollered, I'm lost up the creek. Oh. Well, he leaned back to rest. His eyes did not see when that big rattler struck him above the bent knee. The lick was so hard that a falling he fell. That was the beginning of poor old Tate. tell. Well, he opened his barlow and grabbed him some moss. A cut he made one way, another across. He wrapped his leg tightly and tied it with string, and that sickness came on him. Oh! His body turned green. Oh! Now no man can dispute this legend of yore, how Tate lived a full week and about 3 or 4 days more, and somehow crawled out somewhere near Carabel from that deep ghostly swamp that we know as Tate's Hell. No polluted waterway. She was made to build this nation strong. She proved her stock and trade. And the Yankee Doodle Dixie that could raise a rebel yell in a boat in Pensacola. And thanks a lot to ABARC for seeing that this float trip took place. Thanks for George and his inspiration behind all this. And thanks to all of you who now are well invested in this wonderful river. And for the rest of your life, you will be, hopefully like I am, attached in ways that you could never dream that you'd ever become attached had you not experienced this. And I wrote this song, and as I said, they brought me up here as a special citizen of Apalachicola, and the mayor got up and he says, "This guy has written a song called Apalachicola is Doing Fine." And I didn't want to have the mayor embarrassed in front of, so I said, I just accepted that title, and it's doing fine as far as I'm concerned right now. That one in tune right there, that will help me. When she leaves the dam at Chattahoochee, winding in a southern flow, breezy on her way, another night or day, she'll finally the Gulf of Mexico. Apalachicola River water in veins of our land. Alligators in their swampy borders are a part of nature's plan. Apalachicola flowing fine, Lord. Apalachicola doing time. So as we turn the page of natural history, she's a winding in the summer glow, nursing in her waves oysters in the bays. This is just a part of nature's rule. Apalachicola River water in veins of our land. Alligators in her swampy borders are a part of nature's blood. With me, Apalachicola strong in mind, Apalachicola flowing fine, Lord. Apalachicola doing time.
And it's actually one of the most meaningful things I've done in my life.
Well, he blew on his gun barrel, but the dogs did not hear. A panther had killed him, old Tate felt the fear. The moon was not shining and the mist it was thick. Oh Lordy, Tate hollered, I'm lost up the creek. Oh.